boogity, 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 get up on your feet.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the DW Show. I gotta admit to you folks, when there was this conversation about they were going to redo the point system, and they were going to come up with a new one, and the new one was going to be much simpler to understand, and that was really the basis for the change, just to make it simpler to understand. But I think anytime there's a big rule change like that, there are always unintended consequences. I think we're seeing a product of that. It's only the second race. I know we got a ways to go yet before we can really get a trend to see how it's going to go, but I just know that at Phoenix Sunday, I saw guys driving more aggressive than I think I've seen in a long time. And I got to thinking about why. Was it because we just came from Daytona and they're still revved up, high speeds, 205 mile an hour, and they didn't get it back down enough for that little 1 mile racetrack? I don't think so. I think what I'm seeing, I think it's a product of the new point system. Think about it. Only 10 guys are going to get locked in by the points at the end of 26 races. And then there's 2 wild cards, and those 2 wild cards have to be in the next 10 to 20, in order to qualify for the chase. And it's based on wins. I believe what some of these guys are saying, and particularly if you dig yourself in a deep hole, like a Jeff Burton, we'll just use him as an example, and there's some others, Greg Biffle, and there's several guys that are back down in the bottom 20s, high 30s, that are normal chase contenders, but right now they're in a pretty deep hole. They can't make it any deeper because this new point system, it's harder to make up points. This point system, here's what I like about it. We were looking for something, the old system sort of rewarded consistency. You had to finish every week to accumulate points, keep building up points based on finishes, top 10s most of the time, and that's how you got into the chase, was being consistent in those first 26 races, get yourself locked in, and not worry so much about wins. This system, you got 10 guys that need to be consistent, but you can also be a kind of let it all hang out and go for wins. And if you're in a hole, what are you going to do? If you can't make up a lot of points just by running in the top 10 every week, you got to go for the wins. And I believe that's what guys have figured out. I'm going to go for the wins. If I got more wins than anybody else, and I'm in the top 20, I'm going to qualify for the chase. So I think it's a dynamic that has changed the philosophy and the way these guys are thinking, how they approach a race. So the thing that I really didn't realize, but I do now, and I think it's going to pay off big time for NASCAR and for all of us, this system rewards both. I can be consistent, get good finishes every week, be in the top 10, I'm in the chase. Or I can go out, drive like a wild man, drive like a Kyle Busch, try to win every week and be in the chase. Consistent wins. You can get in both ways, and we didn't have it that way before. So I like the new point system, and I think it's affecting the way the guys are racing. We'll know as time goes by, but certainly based on what I saw at Phoenix, it sure appears that way to me. Big one at Daytona early in the race, took out a bunch of really good cars. Once again, at Phoenix, big one early in the race, took out a bunch of good cars. That's bad news for some guys, but good news for others. People that got good top 10 finishes because a lot of good cars got taken out. I believe if you look at, well, I'm not saying that these guys didn't deserve to be there, but just look at A.J. Allmendinger and that has a good car at Phoenix. But he gets also a 9th place finish. And there are others, maybe even Casey Kane. I think Casey Kane's in for a big year. I believe he and Kenny Francis and the Red Bull team, I believe that's going to be a good combination. But he got a great finish, finished 6th. So there were some guys that finished up pretty well. You look down the list, I mean, Martin Truex was in a wreck over there. He got his car torn up pretty good, but he bounces back to finish 14th. Marco Sambros in the 9 car, he finishes 16th. And the guy that I'm not sure we gave enough love to Sunday, I know we mentioned him, but Casey Mears in the 13 car, didn't even make the Daytona 500 and bounced back with a good 18th place finish at Phoenix Sunday. So the big wrecks are helping some guys, are hurting others. And look at it. Look at our points right now, for heaven's sake. We got the two Bush brothers leading the points, Kyle and Kurt. But when you look down the list, David Gilliland is in the top 10 in points. Bobby Labonte and A.J. Allmendinger. These guys are in the top 10 in points right now. Can they stay there? Yeah, that's questionable. Does Gilliland have the backing and enough sponsorship to be able to put up good numbers every week to be able to stay in the top 10? We'll see. We know Bobby Labonte has the experience. He almost won Daytona, for heaven's sake. And he's up there. And A.J. Allmendinger, I know that at Richard Petty Motorsports, Richard really thinks a lot of this kid. Last year, I know Richard went over, put his arm around him, and he and A.J. had a little bit of a disagreement. But A.J.'s been the flagship for Richard Petty Motorsports. So they have the resources. They might be able to keep A.J. up in that top 10. So I know it's early. We've only been to 2 races. And things will change as we go forward. But one thing that has already changed, and that was the dream. Because little Trevor Bayne, Friday, before we even got going real good, he'd been living the dream, but he woke up Friday when he went down in the 3rd turn on the first lap of practice. Brakes didn't work exactly like he wanted them to. Slammed the car into the wall. Had to go to a backup. Bad way to start the second race of the year after you just come off of the kind of media blitz and everything that he went through. So a real reality check right there. The thrill of victory one week, the agony of defeat the next. And so it's okay. Well, they got a good backup car, and they'll get that out, and they did. Donnie Wingo and the guys got that out and got it going. And they ran pretty good in practice, qualified decent. Saturday, nationwide race, running pretty good, blew a right front tire, wrecked. Sunday, running pretty good, tried to get in a hole that wasn't there, wrecked. 3 cars, 3 wrecks in one weekend. Now, I hate that for the kid. As high as he was after Daytona, that can really have an effect on him going forward. And it can have an effect on that team. They lost a car to Daytona USA, their Daytona winning car, winning Daytona USA, so they lost that one. They lost 2 cars at Phoenix Sunday. This is a team that has never really had to run all the races. So I hope they have the resources, the cars, the people, and everything to help Trevor get his confidence back. He could do it this weekend at Vegas. After all, it's a gambler's racetrack. You got to roll the dice. You know, Viva Las Vegas. That's what Vegas is all about. All those cliches. Thank you very much. And we'll hear all that as we go forward this weekend. But a lot to keep an eye on. Jeff Gordon, how about that? 66 race winning streak, a winless streak, comes to an end at Phoenix. Alan Gustafson, who's won races with Phoenix with Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, and now Jeff Gordon. What a great combination. I felt like that was going to be good. Jeff and Alan together. By golly, Rick Hendrick was right again. The man's a genius. I'm going to find out what he thinks we ought to pick for lottery numbers this week, because he's pretty darn smart.